Test one. Hello, everybody. We are Friday, the 10th of February. Let's have a look at these markets. This is a re recording, by the way, as we had no audio on the recording on what we did this morning. So let's get back into it. S&P underwater here. As you can see, really hitting into that 4207s up at the top here. And really, that is the high that we put in around the what was it, the 13th of September last year, coming in. Where was it? Last week, yeah, coming in 4207's high, and down we go. It's really creating this sort of bull flag pattern here. So, if we kind of create something like a little bit like this here, you're kind of seeing this generally is kind of creating a bull flag pattern for then, supports to come in 40.55s for the longs. Okay, so we have been short this thing as of yesterday, sort of early in the session, and let's see if we can hold on the 40.55s here. Top of this is the zone that we're kind of talking about. Also, it's kind of doorstep by the high on the 23rd of January there. Okay, that's the S&P. So I think this dip lower is going to invite buyers in down here around that 40.55. So we'll just kind of bring that up. Conscious that we may need to test on trend here as well below. All right, the DAX has really led the way south, though, this morning in the European session. We're down 1% DAX, 0.6 on SPOOs, and 0.47 on Dow. Looking over to the NASDAQ, which was kind of interesting as well, that we were looking at this morning. I did say on this breakout that we would need to come back to this 200 EMA 12105s, and sure enough, here we come. Now, the high put in again there on the 15th of November, just generally, I think is going to attract further downside pricing, but I'm not putting it past this market to actually sit right down on that 200 EMA today. Before then, maybe putting in a turn late or mid session to then come back up and resume essentially what has been this turn out of the bottom. Down here, putting in the bottom of, in October last year, then kind of sort of retest there in December, January before we bid on. So it is pullback time. I've gotten out of some Cathy Wood stuff, just really based on the back of some of the constituents in the Nasdaq here. I just don't like it, and maybe get my feet wet again next week. But either which way, that's the Nasdaq. And then oil, if you're not familiar, guys, already, Minister Novak, of course, the Russian minister, oil minister, coming out this morning at 8:20 on the button, and saying that Russia is cutting 500,000 barrels a day of the black stuff from production for March. So bammo, to the upside we go, and then sort of fizzling out. And what I did talk about this morning, Ollie can testify that I did talk about this at about 9:30 this morning, was that really, getting long anywhere in here, this is sort of the dumb money area, because people are going to be coming in to trade. They wake up at like 10, 11 o'clock, and then they're thinking, yeah, I'm going to trade that US session. And they think, wow, 500 barrel a day cut from Russia. I want to get long this sucker. So they put in orders for, the market to maybe pull back to like, 70, 79 halves, 79s, 78s. And they're essentially creating liquidity on the bid. And what that does is it creates runway for the market to trade down through. It creates liquidity. The market cannot move down unless there is liquidity there to enable trade to trade lower. So what happens is we get people getting long stopped, long stopped, long stopped, long stopped, long stopped. Until we flush that out, we can then get back on the longs. Look, 81.56 is to close out the week, sure, but not until we get a decent pullback. Now, look, VWAP is going to be a decent area where more sophisticated traders are potentially going to try their hand and put some liquidity back in to balance over the amount of selling here. But look at that, straight through, like a butter through, or like a hot butter through knife. down we go. More liquidity on 78, 65 or 70s down here, and it's just not going to stop. Okay. So this is the reversal. I went to a party a couple of years ago, the day after that the Houthi rebels had a drone attack on Saudi facilities. And the guy works for a hedge fund, and he was smiling at me. And he said, "Hey, how about that oil move? Nice for the longs." And I was like, I was selling it all the way, mate. And I knew that guy lost his shirt because there was no way for him to get in on that move as it happened over the weekend. And then when the market did open, it did nothing but sell down. Of course, it opened 15% up, historical move. And all it did was sell off from the open. And so, what people don't understand is what it takes for a market to move. Okay, so everyone's trying to get in long on this thing, causing liquidity for the market to move down. All right, so look out. 78.56s and PVAH 78s even. I think 78s even. Let's restart this market and go. All right, that's oil and a little anecdote for you guys and girls. What else can we look at here? Look, the Bund is in a little bit of a spot here. So this Bund has been kind of balancing within this area, but of course then this morning, imbalance, pull back to the p-val, sell that sucker down. I took a piece out here on 135.84s. I am willing to resell the living jeebus out of this thing should it make another little straggle for the p-val. I don't think it is going to. I think we're going to breach the 135.84s and we're going to go like this. Now 135.34s, and ultimately I got a 133. I got a 133 level on this thing down here, but either which way, I think I don't think we're going to go 133.90s today, which is the level. I think we're going to go 135.34s today. There is quite a bit of risk, with Russian rhetoric continuing to come out here, on the oil front. There's obviously going to be then rhetoric out of Europe, European Commission, the counter chat. So, keep your nose clean here on oil today. All right, that's it. Gold. Look, it's trading balanced at the moment on the p-val 1874s. You could be looking for that conjunction here with VWAP for the longs. But if I have such a dour outlook for bonds, of course, if the bonds start to go off below 135.84s, your yield is going to be rising, and therefore gold is going to have very little reason to survive in the world. And so you're going to breach VWAP and move down even lower on gold. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you. Listen, have a great weekend. Enjoy the Six Nations. Enjoy watching Ireland beat France. Get your bets on now for the Grand Slam for Ireland. Have a good one.